Welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzeti Show. I'm Pete Mezzeti. My guests this evening are Jennifer and Betsy, who are with the UCP of Southeastern Connecticut. Ladies, welcome. How are we?
Great. Thank you, Pete.
Thank you, Pete.
Awesome. So, Jennifer, tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been with the UCP Southeastern Connecticut.
Sure. I have been the executive director since 2013.
Okay.
Prior to that, I was the associate executive director, so I started actually in 2006. And it's been a great experience.
Obviously, you like what you do every day.
I do. I love it. What's not to love? I mean, every day I get to come to work, and I've got a team of direct support professionals and staff members that work diligently to ensure that we're able to provide really great services and information to people with disabilities across Connecticut, really.
And you guys reach all over the state of Connecticut?
We do. We started serving Eastern Connecticut primarily, but the need for our services really expanded. So we've got our headquarters in Waterford, and then we've got a location in Old Saybrook as well.
Okay.
But then, you know, over the years, there's been a need for serving somebody, say, in Middletown or in Wyndham or in Stratford.
Right.
And so we've decided, let's go where the need is. And so we've got the staff and the capabilities, and we decided we would serve whomever we can in those areas.
Now, as far as the facility in Old Saybrook goes, what actually do you do? Because I actually walk by the facility every day on the way to work.
Okay. So primarily we serve people with disabilities in a day program setting. So it's a group setting. For people who may live in their family home, in a group home, or even an assisted living facility. And rather than have them be shut in their home all day, they come to our program where they can experience socialization and activities of meaningful importance to them, and then also get out into the community and really be a part of the community that they live in.
Cool. And how about you, Betsy? What role do you play with UCP?
Not as important as Jen.
No?
No. I was fortunate enough to join the board of UCP in, I believe, 2006.
Okay.
And I've been on since then, periodically, according to our rules. After, I think, 6 years, we take a year off, and then you're eligible to come back on as a regular board member. And so I've been through a few of those cycles, and at different times have served in a variety of positions. I'm currently the treasurer. I've served as the president for a couple of terms, so different things.
Now tell us your background.
Oh, I've done quite a few things, actually.
I know most of the things you've done.
Well, I've been on your show.
Yes.
That's right. Actually, a long time ago, back when I was still a student, I trained as an accountant and I got my certification as a CPA when I was living in Florida. I worked in healthcare for a long time, in hospitals, as a financial officer. And ultimately, through several moves, found my way back to Connecticut, had a couple kids, and started working for the town of Waterford. And I was the tax collector there for quite a few years with your mother.
I was going to say, that's actually how we met.
That is how we met. That is correct. And a job, by the way, that I really loved. I loved working for my town. Yeah. Actually, I've loved all my jobs.
Yes.
It's fun to hear Jen talk about loving coming to work every day. I've been fortunate and have only done things I really loved. After I did that, I served as a state representative representing Waterford and Montville for 10 years. I was then a commissioner on aging for 3 years and finished up working in early childhood before I retired.
So you're very busy since you've retired.
Much less so.
Yeah.
Definitely much less so.
Absolutely. Now, what exactly is cerebral palsy?
So it is a condition that typically is acquired at birth. There's really no known treatment for cerebral palsy, but it can impact people in a variety of different ways. So not every person that has cerebral palsy experiences the same conditions. So it's quite a range of abilities that people end up with. And because of that, United Cerebral Palsy started serving people only with cerebral palsy because there were no resources available to families who had children with CP. But over the years, certainly our agency and a lot of our United Cerebral Palsy affiliates began serving people with other disabilities as well. So we really serve people with CP, with spina bifida, with intellectual disabilities, and really just kind of anything that is, presents an additional barrier for someone. And we help them overcome those barriers and live life independently as they can.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very moving.
Yeah, the work that we do and the people that we work for really they're the moving ones. They really are people that aspire to overcome their barriers and obstacles, and we're really just facilitating that and working with them to help them get where they want to be in their life.
Now, UCP is obviously a national organization all over the country, correct?
Right, we're an affiliate of the national organization.
Right.
There are currently, I think, around 55 affiliates. At one time, there were several hundred.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But like a lot of national organizations, there's a lot of change. Our name is United Cerebral Palsy, so it implies that we only serve people with cerebral palsy, but we don't. We serve people with, all sorts of abilities and obstacles and barriers, and but mostly all kinds of abilities. So some of the United Cerebral Palsies are changing their names to reflect more of what they do and who they serve. But yeah, we're certainly part of the national organization and have been so for over 70 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, what types of other, besides people with cerebral palsy, what types of other people with...
Yes, so our major funder and the most people that we serve have an intellectual disability.
Okay.
They may have other developmental disabilities as well, but our largest funder is the Department of Developmental Services with the state of Connecticut. But we also work with social services and Department on Aging and Bureau of Rehab Services, and so really, and we do some private provider work as well for people that want to contract with us directly.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Now, how did the pandemic affect you guys? Oh, God, yeah, exactly.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure it was probably no fun.
Extremely.
We're a business like a lot of businesses, so
Yep.
we were impacted. Certainly our staff members were impacted,
Oh, yeah.
but really it was the individuals that we served that were impacted.
Okay.
As everyone is forced to stay home, they lost the opportunity to come in and socialize. And social isolation is a challenge for a lot of people with disabilities.
Okay.
And so having to stay home and not be able to interact with the individuals that, their peers or other people from their community was difficult. And sometimes the gains that we had made kind of took a step back, and people became more dependent on others and less independent. So we worked really hard, though, during that time period to come up with some meaningful interactions and activities that could be done via Zoom or in a social distance way.
Right.
But I think one of the positive things that came out of it was we really embraced technology and our use of technology to connect people.
Right.
So, that was, if we had to look for the silver lining there, that's what it was, I think, for us.
And I'm sure you guys are going to agree with me that once the pandemic started, Zoom meetings are no fun.
Well, necessary.
Yeah,
And,
right.
Actually, if you think about it, the technology sort of race or development really got a boost from the pandemic, but was there just in time in many respects, I think. I think when you look back, we might sort of think that way.
Yeah.
It's given a lot of our services a big push because now the technology has become a focal point of a lot of service provision in really positive ways to help people directly to be more independent.
Right.
And that's been a huge thing for us.
It sure has,
Really
and
huge.
really it's helped us also expand the distance that we can serve. Like, again, we can serve kind of anybody in the state of Connecticut. We're limited by our UCP charter to serve only in the state of Connecticut, but Other providers certainly could step over state lines and, across borders and really serve people wherever, because technology has given us the tools to do that.
Right.
But I think in terms of technology for individuals, we're able to set them up with assistive technology so that they can be independent in their home or independent in their community. If you think about ride-sharing apps,
Yep.
If somebody has a cell phone, they can get a ride for themselves, and transportation is certainly another big barrier that a lot of individuals with disabilities face. So, having an app and being able to schedule a ride is now a big deal.
Yeah.
But one of the challenges to that is, a person has to have internet service or access to internet service, and they need to have a device to do
Right.
that. And those are two big barriers for people who experience a disability and maybe are in low income and can't afford those technologies. So part of what we do is help them connect to those resources. We have a program called Building the Digital Divide.
Okay.
Or bridging the digital
Bridge it.
divide.
We wanna
Sorry,
bridge it.
we're
We
not
don't wanna
building it.
build it.
We're just going to bridge it. It's already there. So we're going to bridge the digital divide. Sometimes it feels like we're building it, though.
Yeah, right. Yeah, maybe.
It really does. But no, we're bridging the digital divide.
Okay.
And we partnered with the Connecticut Tech Act to come up with this program, and the Department on Aging, which oversees the Bureau of Rehab Services. So we're working kind of in a true collaboration across these departments and programs to get people the resources they need so they can get connected to the technology, and more importantly, or just as important to, is Wi-Fi or internet access
Yep.
at an affordable rate.
Right. Now, as far as bridging the digital divide, not building it, but
not.
but bridging
Bridging it, yeah.
Are people pretty?
So pretty,
People are
pretty good with it.
open,
Yeah,
they're pretty
that's
good
the
to
word.
it.
Yeah, that's the word I want. Sure.
We all come to technology with different skills.
Right.
Right. I mean, we hold our board meetings by Zoom. We still do that. And so even amongst our board members, some people like it, some people don't. So, we prefer to meet in person, but it certainly is convenient to meet by Zoom. And the technology, is there for most of our board members so they can participate from wherever they are.
Right.
And that's certainly the benefit for people that we serve as well. I think it's, most people are receptive to it.
Okay.
As many people as are receptive to it are proficient at it,
Right.
but there are many that struggle. And I think one of the cool things about the services that we provide in that arena is we can adapt the devices so that it meets the need of the user.
Okay.
So that's an important feature. And we can help them with that, whether it's through a physical modification, let's say, or an iPhone or a tablet will have some accessibility features. And a lot of people don't know they're there.
No.
So we have staff members that can go to them either virtually or in person and help them learn about what those accessibility features are. More importantly, we learn about what their needs are and how we can help them with that.
That's been something that for us has really exploded.
Yeah.
When I first started, and when you first came, actually, in 2006, it was just kind of new, you could ask something to turn on the light for you in your home, and that was like a miracle.
Yeah.
How did this happen? This is wonderful.
Remember the clapper?
The clapper,
Clap on
yes,
the clapper?
clap,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Yeah.
And where it's come since then is just been tremendous. But for the folks that we work with, in many cases, maybe someone at first has been really hesitant. Certainly I am. I'm an older person.
Right.
And so crossing the digital divide has been perhaps a lengthier process.
Right.
But I'll tell you, for folks that need it, they get it.
Yeah.
I mean, it can really work, and has really exploded for us and really brought us across the state. I think it's fair to say in many respects. And it's been great. The state's been a good partner with that.
And obviously all of your clients are pretty adaptive to the digital divide and they're pretty much getting
Some
used
of
to it?
them.
Yeah, I would
Many
say
of
just
them.
as much as everyone else in the population. You know, there's people
Yeah.
that don't want it. There's people
Yeah.
that they're afraid of the technology, right?
Right.
So, but most people, I would say, are interested in doing things that, or embracing technology that helps them maintain or improve their independence or their safety. So we do a lot of smart home installations to help people be safe in their environment. So fall notifications are sent to their family members, or they can have like a Ring doorbell, for example,
Sure.
so they can see who's at the door and decide whether or not they want to answer that door.
Right.
You know, or whether they should, not do that. Comfort settings also, so thermostats, which helps them, one, control their environment without having
Right.
to get up or get over to a thermostat,
Right.
but also helps with their heating and cooling bills, make for more energy efficient. So but there's all kinds of things, from blinds that you can control remotely with a switch, an adaptive switch, or smart ovens even, so that people can, set their timer remotely from their wheelchair.
Exactly.
Or, we'll do a wheelchair mount for someone if they need an iPad to communicate. We've got Alexa devices, so they can set up a shopping list just by speaking, or turn on their television, or control anything. And if they don't have speech, then, we have adaptations for that as well, so they can, communicate in other ways. So it's exciting, but there's a lot of technology out there to help people today, and we can help them navigate that. Yeah.
Holy cow.
I know.
Oh, man.
It's really changed.
It has
I mean,
changed.
from back.
Right?
It really pretty quickly. And you started by asking about the pandemic. I think a big push for that really did come out of maybe the pandemic experience.
And if I could just add also
Sure.
that I think one of the great things about the technology is how it connects people to their community, or it can, right? So aside from, your smart home technology, which keeps people safe, now you can have access to the Pete Mezzeti Show by streaming. You can have access to your newspaper, to your community bulletins, to your local politics. You can really stay connected to your community in those ways. You can get the website for your Park and Rec program or your church bulletin, and be able to participate in your community without having to leave your home if you can't for some reason.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys are a very busy organization.
We're very busy. We had one part-time staff person working in assistive technology. We're hiring our 5th staff member this week, so where she starts this week.
And obviously you guys, just by the name, you guys just reach out to the state of Connecticut. You can't go over. You can't
We
go
do,
over
right?
state
And
lines.
that's more
Correct.
than we. That's more than we can handle some days.
Exactly.
That's plenty.
We're probably getting about 450 calls a year, strictly on assistive technology under the Bridging the Digital Divide program. And then we have other contracts through the state of Connecticut where we'll go and do a more in-depth evaluation. Where we really look at their home, a person's home and their environment. We talk to their family members, we talk to them, and we find out what is it that you want or need, and we come up with a plan, and we find some funding to make it happen.
That's actually a good segue into my next question.
Yeah.
How do you guys get funded?
So we have.
Well, as the treasurer, you should know this.
Well, Jen's already explained our primary funding through the state of Connecticut and the Department of Developmental Services, and then other agencies, but our primary funding still does come from that, because we do run extensive programs through DDS, most particularly our day programs, the biggest in terms of our funding stream. But increasingly, there are other funding opportunities for us. And we were talking about assisted technology. That's, of course, grown by leaps and bounds, and it's become an important funding stream. And there are other granting agencies out there also. And I bet Jen wants to add to that.
Yes.
Well, I mean, certainly the United Way funds our programs. They specifically fund what we call our Inclusion and Advocacy Program, which is specifically supports people whose needs may kind of be under the radar or not be addressed through other means. So it's kind of a safety net program. So anybody with a disability can reach out to us or their family member, from young children. The family needs, like at one time people were reaching out for weighted blankets for kids on the autism spectrum who needed some kind of soothing. Right. It could be something like that, or it could be needing financial assistance so they can build a ramp so a person with a wheelchair can get into their home independently, or a car seat for a bigger child that doesn't fit into a traditional car seat but needs some additional safety in a vehicle for like trunk support. That program is funded in large part through the United Way, but also through some other community granting agencies, banks, other institutions, the community foundations of Middlesex and Eastern Connecticut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you guys mind sticking around for another segment?
Sure.
Sure.
All right.
Happy to do
We'll
that.
be right back.
Community TV, your neighborhood TV.
Publicly funded and a reliable partner for cable companies nationwide, it provides transparent coverage of local and state government, education, and public programming.
A digital town green that can be watched anywhere, anytime, and on any device.
Watch us on today's high-tech distribution methods.
Community TV in Connecticut.
Local,
Unfiltered,
reliable, and
yours.
As a scientist, I know by the time she takes her first breath, 9 billion more tons of carbon pollution will be in the air. When she takes her first steps, wildfires will have burned millions more acres she could have explored. By the time a child born today goes to college, it may be too late to leave them the world we promised. Our window to act on climate change is like watching them grow up. We blink and we miss it.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzeti Show. I'm Pete Mezzeti, sitting here with Jennifer and Betsy from UCP, Southeastern Connecticut. Ladies, welcome back.
Thank
How are we?
you.
Good. All right, so Jennifer, let's talk about the day program in Old Saybrook with the focus on community-based volunteering and activities.
Great, happy to do that. So the folks that come into our day programs are looking for meaningful community interactions and activities. And so however you would spend your day, that's how they want to spend their day.
Right.
And regardless of their abilities, they want to get out and they want to meet people and have a good time. So we coordinate with them to find out what their interests are. And then, we've got some folks that are interested in how a TV production works. So, they might come to your studio and listen to you tell them about the Pete Mezzeti Show.
Yeah.
Or they might be interested in a knitting club or the local library or all kinds of things. So we do work with organizations like the Acton Library and Preston Library to shelve books, and we go to the Goodwill and other organizations, other nonprofits, and we help them, our staff accompany the individuals that participate in the program to help them with their desired volunteer activities.
Now, we talked about the day program in the first segment. Maybe we can touch on that a little bit.
The day program, we've got the two, one in Quaker Hill and one, which is part of Waterford, and then one in Old Saybrook.
Okay.
And out of both locations, we also operate an employment program for people who are looking for competitive employment. So that means they get paid at minimum wage, not by piece or by a sub-minimum wage. So they get a minimum wage and they're looking for regular employment. So we've been fortunate to partner with a lot of local businesses where some of the people that we support are not quite ready for that competitive. So for that competitive employment. So we do, working interviews and some training on the job so that they become experienced at it, and then we hope that they become competitively employed. And then we have people that really are very skilled and just ready to go, but need a little bit of support while they're at the job.
Right.
So we have job coaches to help them do that. So you might see them in your local grocery store or a coffee shop or at McDonald's, or but we have people that do design work, and people that write books and work in a cleaning capacity at Mohegan Sun, or all kinds of things, culinary, wide variety.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. Employment is, it's a big challenge because of a lot of the issues around employment, like transportation, which is often can be a barrier that is close to impossible or very difficult to surmount. That's really, I think, one of the biggest challenges that we have when we start talking about community and employment, but critical. And we talked a little earlier about some of the technologies that have helped with some of that.
Yes.
And hopefully that direction is going to continue so that we can continue to maybe provide more opportunities for transportation. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Connecticut isn't always easy for transportation.
No, and it's probably a lot harder for someone who doesn't know how to use their smartphone to go dial up for public transit or the bus or ride share or Lyft.
Correct. And the public transit, out in the suburbs where we are is not the same as it is in a more urban environment, and it is much harder and less reliable, and there are all sorts of challenges with that too. So it's pretty multifaceted, I think it's fair to say.
It is. It is. That is definitely, transportation is certainly one barrier to employment. We find that most employers are very open to hiring a person with a disability, but there are some perceptions out there that people with disabilities, can't do a particular job. So whatever that, perceived barrier might be, we work with employers to show them how valuable diversifying your workforce is, and the value that a person with a disability can bring to their place of business.
Right. Now, do you guys do fundraisers throughout the year?
We sure do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yes, we do.
Oh boy. What do we got?
Our biggest fundraiser, and actually it's been a lot of fun to see it develop. We do a golf tournament. We do it in the spring. Okay. And our business community has been, I think it's fair to say, wildly supportive of this golf tournament. It's really proven, in the world of fundraising, people always talk about, events have a life cycle, and after a while you might want to change it or go. Nope, this one is just every year exceeds. And that's been something that for us has been very rewarding, because we also make then ties to those businesses that want to help us. They have an opportunity to often at the tournament to better understand what we do, meet some of the folks we work with who will help us, and make those ties even stronger. And down the road, we were just talking employment as a goal. It really gives us a lot of opportunities to bring us closer to the community.
Right. And now, as far as all your consumers that actually go to work or go to the day program, obviously you guys have a fleet of vehicles too.
We do. We do. We provide transportation to a good number of them. Again, it's a major barrier for people to access the community. So we do provide transportation often to work. If they, but we call it travel training. I don't know why that's the term, but it's the term. Travel training. It's how to access your community, using rideshare or the public bus or Medicab or whatever resources are out there. Especially when it comes to employment, because the goal is as much independence as possible in getting to work, and performing those work functions kind of on your own with our support periodically. But certainly we do have a fleet of vehicles to get people out into the community, because that's really important.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
One of the sort of hangovers really from the pandemic. We started talking about that.
Yes.
Difficulties from running the organization and for our folks through the pandemic is getting back out into the community, because that was a setback.
It was.
For community-oriented programs, a real setback. I'm sure you've heard that from many people.
Oh, yeah.
And from a lot of our folks who then went back into their homes and couldn't get to us. It's coming back, and has also been something that we've had to put some energy into.
Now, I'm sure you guys know on the shoreline, as far as public transportation goes, it's the 9-town transit series, which is a wonderful series.
Amazing.
I use them every day.
Do you? That's fabulous.
Twice a day.
Twice a
Yeah.
day?
Once in the morning, once in the afternoon.
Excellent.
We'd love to see that expand up the shoreline more.
Yeah.
All the way to Stonington would be fabulous. I don't know how we make that happen, but I know it goes up to East Lyme, I'm pretty
It does,
sure, but
yep.
not beyond that. So certainly, more community action can happen around transportation.
Right.
Housing, is the other issue that we really need to take more action on. There's not, right now housing is a struggle for everybody, right? Rents are going crazy, and home prices are the highest they've ever been, probably per square foot. But it certainly affects the people that we provide services to, and people in our community who are lower income and have affordable housing needs. So we certainly could benefit from having more of that.
Yeah. Yeah, housing is that's a big one.
It is.
A big one.
It is, especially around here on the shoreline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everywhere, but we do support people in their home, people that live independently as well as people that live in their family homes.
Oh, okay.
So we see individuals who may be living with an aging parent. That's becoming more and more of the type of person that we're serving in their home, and helping them kind of transition to a life after their parent may not be there.
Right.
So, and in those cases also, we do provide a cluster-based service where in a large apartment complex, for example, or within a mile, a group of people will live in their own home independently. But we then have staff members that go back and forth and provide services, and that could include taking them to get groceries or to community-based activities, but they're on their own and working most of the time, and we're just there to help oversee kind of making sure that their safety is ensured, and they're taking their medications or getting out into the community. We call it a person-centered plan.
Okay.
We work with their whole team. If they've got a DDS case manager, their family, but they're the center of the plan, and we make sure that they're getting whatever they need to help them live as independently as possible.
Wow.
Quite an array of services,
Oh, definitely.
but trying to meet everybody kind of where they are in their life at whatever stage they are at.
Now, what types of other services do you guys offer?
What did we forget?
I don't know.
I was going to say, well, I'm not keeping track in my head.
Yeah. So information and referral is probably, one other area.
Okay.
We're not experts in anything, but we can certainly, or I should say, we're not experts in everything, but so we can connect people with the services that they might need that somebody else can provide.
Okay.
So we're not medical professionals. We don't really provide medical services other than those that are delegated by a nurse to our trained staff. But we can get people connected to the resources they might need. So, for example, if somebody wants to be wants to know more about affordable housing, we can connect them with those resources. Or a medical provider for a particular condition, we can connect them with those types of providers. Housing, is a particular challenge these days. We can't get them Section 8 housing if they need that or whatever, but we can connect them to resources and get them on the list. Social Security. We can connect them to legislators. We often connect people to legislators and bring them along with us on our advocacy efforts as well. Being an active participant in the community is just as important to the people that we serve as it is to our staff members and other members of our community.
Now, how do you guys act? You guys are pretty active up at the legislature and the Capitol when they're in session.
Yes.
As far as the advocacy side of things go.
The advocacy is, well, first of all, as a former legislator, I can tell you that the advocacy from the folks who are the recipients of the services is the most meaningful form of advocacy. I mean, I still can remember the specific stories I heard where I was sitting, what chair, everything from some of those folks. It's incredibly powerful. And so the advocacy on an organized level, and there are advocacy days, and we can help get people there. And our trade association helps us organize that.
Yeah, our trade organization is the Alliance for Nonprofits. We're active members, and also on a national level with Anchor. And so, whether it's at the state capitol or at the U.S. Capitol, we're active with, to address issues that affect our constituents. So,
and there's,
I was going to say, it's everybody.
Yeah.
It's really everybody's job.
Yeah.
It's not just mine. So we really do try to engage the individuals that we serve. And again, as Betsy said, we really need them to tell their stories. That's the important part.
That's where the power is.
Yeah.
And there are, as I know we all know this, but incredible either barriers or simple things that need to be, in my opinion, I think in our shared opinion, considered that could really just make a difference to enabling people to be able to live as independently as they can. And to realize the full extent of their abilities that they can. And it's a difficult effort. I understand that, but there are lots of things that, I mean, when I would say to people, it'll just curl your hair to hear this. Absolutely. And so that work really is ongoing and critical, especially as resources are only getting either shorter, harder to find, more expensive, difficult to provide. There's really a lot of work there that needs to be done.
Right. Now, ladies, let's talk about how you guys provide employment support to people with disabilities who want to work.
Start from the beginning?
Sure.
Yeah. So,
good.
Typically well, first of all, it's an initiative of the state of Connecticut at this time period to really, the employment statistics in Connecticut are not great for people with disabilities. Typically they're underemployed, more so than any other population of individuals. And for a variety of reasons, but many of them just haven't been exposed to employment.
Right.
It's been, there was a perception that a person with a significant disability can't work, and that is not necessarily the case. They may just have not been exposed to it. But we all like to be participating in our community and earning an income, and people feel good about that. And that doesn't, that crosses all boundaries, all ethnicities, all abilities. So we started, again, as part of this person-centered plan, really asking the question first, what kind of employment would you like? As opposed to, what do you want to do with yourself all day? So a lot of people said, yeah, I want to go to work. So, again, we come up with a plan and we implement the plan, and the goal, whether it's 10 years from now or 5 years from now or a year from now, that's what we work toward, is, doing some employment discovery. What do they like to do? What do they think they like to do? What are their skills? What are their barriers? And then we work to provide a plan to help them get there. So we recently just asked 4 individuals in our day program to participate in an employment transition program to help them get the skills. So we've got some people in their 40s and 50s who have never held a job before. They want to make some money.
Right.
They want to have some money to do the things that they like to do, and they don't currently have a way to do that. So we're helping them build the skills inventory that they need to become competitively employed.
Now let's talk about expanding to serve the aging population, because obviously we're all getting a little bit older.
We're all getting older.
You think?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah. So
Thanks, Beth.
Who isn't?
Yeah, right?
That's
Yeah.
what we're going to, from the day you're born, you're aging.
Exactly.
Yep.
So yeah, so our collaboration with the Department on Aging only makes more sense because
Exactly.
The baby boomers are the biggest population out there, so we're not going to leave them out.
No.
We certainly wanted to. The assistive technology really has been our entree into supporting more people, specifically the aging population. We recently partnered with AARP with their Age Tech collaboration. So that's a really cool opportunity for us. We are going to be a test bed site for their technology. So for example, their partners might have developed, so one guy developed a ring to wear on his finger, and the ring is a pointer, and the pointer can point to a device in a home to operate it. So for a person that has a mobility challenge, they might just aim the pointer at the thermostat and be able to adjust the thermostat from their ring. So
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
It is.
Sounds pretty cool.
It sounds really good.
Yeah. So as a test bed, that a developer would send us the technology, and we would give it to somebody that we support that wants to try it out, and let them try it out, and we give them the feedback on how it's working, so they can, grow their business, but also, work out the kinks.
This actually is a pretty exciting initiative that AARP is excited about doing, and I think it was a real credit to our organization that we're able to do this, to be this test group, and makes us kind of unique. So we're sort of excited about that.
Yeah.
Now, has it rolled out yet, or is it forthcoming?
So it just started in the past month or so.
Okay.
So we're still new to it, but right now we're in the phase of getting to know all of these developers, and they're getting to know us to see where there's synergy there. But as AARP pointed out, and we've known for a long time, that 1 in 4 Americans identifies as having a disability, and as we age, some of the things that we may have been able to do previously. I previously did not wear reading glasses, and now I do. I previously had excellent hearing, now it's not as great.
Right.
So as we age, there may come a time either that we become permanently disabled or temporarily disabled or progressively.
Right.
So, and while we may not like that term, because I don't really love it either, it is, the standard definition. And so we're working really to help people just overcome the barriers to those things and make life easier, and while maintaining safety and independence. So we all really want that, and we were doing that anyway for the people that we support in our programs, and we thought, if we can expand this to another group of people that can benefit from it, that would be great. So that's what we've been doing with the Department on Aging and the Connecticut Tech Act in our partnership there, and now with AARP.
Now, at the Department of Aging, how closely do you guys work? Pretty closely together?
This has really grown very recently, actually, and the partnership has expanded. Originally, they've asked us now to do more. So we're anticipating perhaps that trend might continue, possibly to enable us to spread a little bit more to other parts geographically in the state too. It has taken us across the state, which is different.
It is.
We're getting used to that.
It is different.
Has it?
Yep.
Trying to figure out where Oxford and Warren are. They're quite a ways.
Northwest Hills, I believe.
Exactly.
I think.
But back when, 2006, when we really both started with the organization, that was just not the case.
Yeah.
I mean, we were in our corner, and expanded up a little bit across to get up to northeastern Connecticut a bit, and that was it.
Yeah.
And I don't think we crossed. I mean, Saybrook had just started.
Yes.
Saybrook was new, crossed to the Connecticut River.
Right,
So,
crossing the bridge.
Yep, it's been quite an evolution.
Oh no, you mean you got to cross the river?
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
no.
Yeah, we don't do that. No,
So
we
these
do.
days it's kind of treacherous on 95 right now. But
Yeah, sure
Yeah.
it is. One thing we
So-
didn't talk about was how many clients do you guys serve?
so
Roughly.
How do you want us to count them?
Right. So every day we serve about 125.
Okay.
And then incidentally, through either our assistive technology or information and referral, we serve about 400 people a year in assistive technology, just in phone calls or a one-time assessment or a one-time interaction.
Okay.
And then another probably 450 this year in our information and referral program.
That's where the explosion has really occurred.
In both of those
Yeah.
programs, we're seeing exponential. I think there's a growing need, but also awareness about what we're doing and, you know, some of these new initiatives. Yeah.
Which are opportunities for
Right.
people, these initiatives. So it is exciting. It's exciting for them.
Now, one thing we didn't talk about is the website. How can people find out more information and what's on the site if people
Sure.
that people need to know?
Yeah, so our website is UCPECT, short for Eastern Connecticut, .org. And they'll find everything they might need along with contact information. And they can simply, you know, either call us or hit a button, contact us now, and send an email. And we have somebody that answers those every day and
A real
gets
live
right
person.
back to you.
A real live person.
Yes.
They'll get.
A real life
I'd like
person
to
will
say.
get back
I'd
to
like
you?
to say that again. Yes, you'll get a real live person.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
Yeah.
it does still happen.
And somebody will get back to you.
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
Yes. Somebody
right.
will get back to you.
That's right.
Yes.
And
So
if-
keep us busy.
yeah. And if people want to help and support you guys, how can they?
That website is fully equipped
Okay.
to be able to handle, I think, probably just about anything they might have. And
Okay.
a phone call would be great. And I know Jen is very happy to take phone calls from folks that want to work with us.
Yeah.
And as am I. Jen's there all day, every day, but and anyone on the board too. And we're all that information is there on the website. It's actually pretty thorough.
There's information there for someone if they're looking to volunteer. They can get in touch with somebody that can connect them with volunteer opportunities. And of course, we're always looking for board members as well.
Okay.
People with a variety of experiences and backgrounds. And fundraising, if people like to help along those lines. We do have our annual golf tournament. And then there's a donation page if somebody just wants to go on and make a donation to support any of our initiatives.
So the golf tournament's in the spring.
It is. This year it'll be May 6th, and it's the first Monday of May.
Okay.
And we hold it at Stonington Country Club, which is a beautiful course. We usually have terrific weather. I know.
Oh no.
We shouldn't have said that.
I know.
say.
No, it'll be fine. It's
Yeah.
always a great day, and we've sold out tournaments in the past couple of years, and it's really a great day and a great way to support our organization.
And
Now-
to have fun. It's a lot of fun.
Is it?
Yes, it is. It's a lot
Are
of
you
fun.
there?
Yes, absolutely.
For sure.
Quite a few board members come to work, but also a bunch of the folks that we work with every day, and as well as the staff, and it's a fun time.
Yeah.
The Stonington Country Club is very beautiful in May, too.
Oh, is it? I've
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
never been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the golf tournament, is that the major fundraiser for you guys every year?
Yes.
It is. It's our major fundraiser. It's all we have time for.
Okay.
It takes us all year.
It takes about 8-9 months
Yeah.
To put a golf tournament together.
Yeah, pretty much. We start pretty early, and it does take a while. I talked a little bit about the community support, which is great,
Right.
wonderful, absolutely wonderful. But you have to go around and organize all of that, and it's a fairly big effort.
It is. We've got a great team of professionals on our golf committee, which is mainly made up of our board members, and they just do an amazing job. They reach out to their contacts, their business contacts, their personal contacts, and they really set the community on fire for our organization. And we have a really great time also getting together to plan it. We actually have a lot of fun, but we've got an amazing staff as well. I just have to say that our staff members help participate in getting this fundraiser going every year. But on a day-to-day basis, our direct support professionals are key to delivering the services every day, and they do a great job. And so another thing that if someone were to go to our website to look for employment, we do list our employment opportunities. And we're always looking for good, strong, reliable, professional, direct support professionals to help us deliver the services.
Without whom we could never support the individuals that we support. I mean, these people are our lifeblood as well as the lifeblood of the disability community that we work with. They really are everything.
They really are.
Yeah.
They do an amazing job.
Now, how many board members?
What are we up to now? 9?
12.
12.
Okay.
Right.
Oh boy, yeah.
So our board, is somewhere between 9 and 18 members.
Okay.
Really, their range in their professional backgrounds, their personal experiences. We have people, that have a disability, people that have an accounting background, people that have insurance or banking or media or marketing, education, entrepreneurs. So real estate, really anybody that has an interest in being on our board and supporting the people that we support. And they're critical to our success and guide us in a direction and support our initiatives. So,
and if people are interested in getting more information on being on the board, they can just go fill out the form on the website.
Absolutely.
Go to the website.
Absolutely.
Go to the website. It's all there.
Yes.
It is.
We'd love to hear from them.
It is, yes.
Go to the
absolutely.
website. It's all there. We've got a little bit more time left, so
Great.
I think that
closing.
we talked a little bit about a lot of the challenges and looking ahead. Particularly, I think there's work to be done, but it's also wonderful to understand the community support, certainly that we're so wonderfully fortunate to receive, has made such a difference to so many people that I think a lot of that creates a sort of a positive momentum, and looking ahead at those challenges. A lot of them those are things that can be overcome. It just takes maybe a little work, community awareness, understanding what needs to be done as opposed to what we used to do. I think maybe just changing that attitude a little bit can make quite a difference to the disability community, certainly, and as well as to us at the organization.
Well, we're about to run out of time, but before we do, I want to thank you guys for coming down, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Thank you, Betsy.
Thank you
Jen.
for having us.
Not a
Thank you
problem.
so much.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thanks for your time. On behalf of Betsy and Jennifer, I'm Pete Mezzeti. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.